Robert Tyrone Hayes is an American serial killer, convicted of 3 murders in the Daytona Beach area, between 2005 and 2006. DNA obtained from a female murder victim that was later found in Palm Beach County matched the 3 victims of the Daytona Beach killings. That DNA was later linked to Robert Hayes. Robert was convicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder, and was sentenced to serve 3 life sentences behind bars, without the possibility of parole. Join me, as we explore the life and crimes of Robert Hayes. Welcome to Simply Told. Robert Tyrone Hayes, who was born in West Palm Beach on the 12th of March 1982. His mother was his primary caregiver, as his father was murdered not long after his birth. Robert attended Bethune-Cookman University, obtaining a degree in criminal justice. He was someone who was described as friendly, fun, always there for you kind of person, with a good sense of humor. He had an interest in cooking, even later attempting to start his own cooking business. But there was another side to Robert. He was known to have an active sex life, throwing wild sex parties, even inviting a family member to some. "45-year-old Laquita Mae Gunther, a prostitute, was considered to be Hayes' murder victim. Her body was discovered in an alleyway, on the 26th of December 2005. She was shot in the back of her head. It's believed she'd gone missing on Christmas Eve, as she made dinner plans with a friend the next day, but inevitably, never showed up. Victim number 2 is believed to be 34-year-old Julie Green, who also worked as a prostitute. Her body was discovered on the 14th of January 2006, with a single bullet hole to the back of her head. Unfortunately, no DNA evidence was obtained from this crime scene. On the 24th of February 2006, the body of 35-year-old Awana Patton was found alongside a gravel road. Also shot, but not in the head. It seemed as if she put up a fight with her attacker, not leaving him the luxury of a clean headshot. A shell casing and DNA was obtained, linking them to the previous murders. Due to the profession of the victims, police pieced together the theory that they all went willingly with their killer. They were later killed, and disposed of, without being concealed. The police profiled the killer as being a white male, possibly with a female companion. Someone who possibly resented women, and was taking his anger out on these souls. But many others, including the public, had their own theories, believing he could be a military man, a police officer, or maybe a truck driver. The police would come to interview many suspects, one of them being Robert Hayes. He was called in due to a weapons purchase, of .40 caliber Smith & Wesson, only weeks prior to the murders. The profile of the killer suggests the criminal to be a white male. And Robert was clearly not white. And this seems to be the reason the police let him go. On the 2nd of January 2008, human remains, later identified as 30-year-old Stacey Charlene Gage, was discovered. She was shot in the back of her head. It's believed she was murdered the day she left the home she shared with her grandmother, which was on the 11th of December 2007. Stacey was not involved in the same profession as the previous victims, but she had a drug problem. The vehicle she was driving was later found parked at an apartment complex. Now labeled the Daytona Beach Killer, police was out in full force trying to catch him. At least 4 detectives worked the case. By using field DNA kits, police obtained many samples from motorists fitting the generalized profile of a white male with a female companion. These were later matched to samples obtained from the previous crime scenes. On the 7th of March 2016, the nude body of Rachel Bay was discovered on the side of a highway in Florida. She was beaten and strangled. There was evidence that she fought off her attacker. DNA evidence was recovered from the crime scene. Later, December 2016, detectives received reports proving that DNA recovered from Rachel matched to those of the previous cases. DNA collected from the Daytona Beach murder victims was run through a genetic database, linking Robert to the crimes. He was then placed under surveillance. On the 15th of September 2019, Robert Hayes was arrested at his West Palm Beach home. He was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, for the death of Rachel Bay. DNA from Rachel was matched with 2 of the victims of the Daytona Beach killings, with the final victim matched to Robert through ballistics testing. He was then charged with 3 additional counts of first-degree murder. Trial. 22nd of February 2022, Robert was handed the guilty verdict for the murders of Julie Green, Laquita Gunther, and Awana Patton. On the 2nd of March 2022, Robert was sentenced to 3 life terms behind bars, without the possibility of parole.